I got to tell you something. I mean, I'm a little excited right now, but let me tell you,
Good.
there's a big difference between being a coach,
Yeah.
a trainer, and an assistant.
Go
Big
ahead.
difference. All right,
Break it
brother.
down. Break it down.
I'm gonna break it down, brother. Okay, I'm a coach because a coach is basically a strategist. He understands the strategy of it. He understands the concept, the theory behind it. Some people might call it the science. But that's a coach. That's what a coach does. He dissects the opponent. He can even dissect his own fighter into what he's doing and what will work and what won't work versus this opponent. That's a strategic coach, and that's the difference between the coach. Now, a trainer is something like Derek James. Derek James works with him, does the mitts a lot, constantly works on the bag, and he also says, "Hey, we got to do this, we got to do that." He controls the sparring, and then an assistant is the one that gives the water, puts up the chair, and brings in the towel. So there's three factors, and a lot of people don't understand that.
Hmm.
See, so I want to educate people. Say, hey, there's three levels in boxing. There's the coach, there's the um,
The trainer.
trainer, which is they call the chief second, which is the main trainer, and then there's the assistant. Okay, now people might say, well, wait a minute. If you're Ryan's son, I mean Ryan's dad, why aren't you the main one? Well, I was the main one. I had him when he was 13-0 with 12 KOs. But as things got better and higher, I was smart enough. Once again, I was smart enough to say, you know what? I don't want to learn the experience this way because I found out one thing: if you lose a major fight, who's the one that gets kicked out right away?
Hmm. You
Think
you
about
said
it,
this.
brother.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's you come on, you know
The
the
head
answer.
trainer. The head trainer.
That's it, brother. Come on, it's not rocket science here.
Yeah.
You think I'm gonna ruin my bond with my son? So I was smart enough to get out while I could and say,
Hmm.
you know what? I'm gonna step down. I'm gonna give somebody who does have higher experience, and guess what? I'm gonna learn from them.
And
But
that was Joe Guzman.
bro, that was Eddie Reynoso. That was Joe Goosen. That was a lot. Yeah. It was. I just wanted to see what they were doing versus what I was doing. Because remember, I had him at 13-0 with 12 KOs as a professional. I was his main trainer. Now, what father in their right mind would step down? Think about that, bro. What with no defeats? Come on, brother. There's no way, brother. Come on, you got to respect that.
It's respected.
Thank you, brother. Thanks. See, you see it now.
Yeah.
You see it now,
Yeah.
and
You
that's what
care.
I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to talk to people. Is that, hey, bro? I'm a right now. I'm a father, okay, but when it's time to be strategic and be a coach, I'm there for my son. And my son knows that I can say something, little words, little words. I don't have to be, come out with a speech, little words, and man, he will spark. And a father can only do that to his son. So the more to all this story is, if you want to keep your bond with your son, get out, brother.
I, I
And
I gotta I gotta give
get
you.
out.
You touched me because
Thank, thank you,
my
brother.
dad. I've been an athlete and I did boxing too. And my dad always wanted to be a coach, even if he didn't even know the sport. He wanted to be the coach. And
Okay, good.
to do that, if my dad could have did something like that, my dad wasn't even around for my boxing career at all. But
Wow,
I'll
that's
tell
too
you
bad,
right
brother.
now. I'll tell you right now that
Go
is
ahead.
nice to hear because that's something that I would have wanted. I don't
Yeah,
want my dad. And then I would believe in my dad too. Like if he
sure,
got me that far.
sure.
So what was the reasoning of stepping down and at was it Ed, it was Joe Guzman first, right?
No, no, Eddie Reynoso.
It was Eddie,
Eddie
the La.
Reynoso. Yeah, 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 yeah. Canelo's trainer.
Right,
Yeah, it
right,
was him.
right.
And
Okay.
and, and 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 that team was awesome, bro. I love Eddie. Eddie's awesome, bro.
Hmm.
Canelo's awesome. Um, you know, Joe Goosen is a very strategic man himself.
Hmm.
But I learned a lot from Eddie Reynoso because Eddie Reynoso liked me, and he was kind enough to allow me to present that bag that I designed, Fierce Reflex, the one that Ryan hits. I
Yep.
designed that bag, right? So I
Right.
sell that all over the world. So he allowed me to do that. And he was like, "Man, bro, I love this." Even Joe Goosen says, "Wow, bro." I did a good thing. But they're all good trainers, bro. I'm just telling you, they're all good trainers. Um, but you gotta give props to them. But if you want to keep the relationship with your son, brother, is I recommend step down because hey, bro, look at Mayweather and his father had it out, brother. You had Timothy Bradley and his father had it out. Sean Porter and his dad had it out. And at one time you had Tio and his father. I mean, bro, I can go on and on. It gets ugly, bro. Sugar Shane Mosley and his son. So it can get to a point where they no longer will work on that corner. They won't work their corner anymore because of the tension of the arguing and the cursing and all that. Bro,
Right.
I'm right now here in Dallas with my son, loving it, brother. I just came having lunch with him. I mean, come on, brother. That's a father son bond, brother. You can't take that away.
So tell me,
Hmm.
why Derek James?
Derek James is again a very strategic man. Ryan felt that since his background with a lot of champions, and he really he was a trainer of the year because of his style. And Ryan likes to be loose. Ryan likes to be loose, and that's what Ryan likes. So Derek is a perfect match for him right now.
Mm. But like obviously, why do you believe the styles are a perfect match, and why the science of Derek James at this moment in time?
Because you have Errol Spence at one time, you got Frank Martin there. These are guys that know how to move, and Ryan loves that. Ryan knows how to move. So it's like you don't want to change your style too much. You just want to add to it. And if you're loose and you know how to move, like these guys were doing, um, it's a perfect match. You're not going too far from your circle. In other words, so when you're good, and you understand that the the boxer and the trainer should be relatively close to each other so that you don't get away from the circle too much. Because a lot of coaches, they tend to sometimes like harshly want you to change it their way. But
Hmm.
if they have a similar style and they see you, they're like, hey, okay, I could work with this guy. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what happened.
Okay. Now, were there ever any like discussions of going back with Eddie?
Well, I mean, I'm not. I don't talk to Ryan about that because I don't. Again, I don't. That's to me. That's on him. What I talk about is let's dissect this fight. Let's dissect this person that you're fighting. Let's find out his weaknesses and his strengths. But again, we've known him for what, we fought him 6 times, 3-3. So we have a history of each other, and then we did some sparring with each other too. So it's going to be a good fight. Um, the difference I see is that Ryan has a lot of speed and definitely has more power than he does. But hey, good luck out there.